We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. Just had a little technical thing there with the intro, pressed the wrong button, but we're all good. The camera's working, that's the main thing. So we're all set to go in this, our April 11th, 2022 show, in which we're going to be covering a range of topics, including stuff happening with the DC League of Super Pets animated movie that's coming up. We're going to be talking about upcoming episode of Superman and Lois. We've got comic book stuff to talk about, some Dark Crisis information, and we're also going to turn to you for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic that you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Doing well, and yourself?
I can't complain yet, but, we usually go through a little bit of banter on here, but we're going to skip all that today and just go right into the thing, because people are here to watch Superman Homepage live, and we want to hear from the people watching us live right now on YouTube. So how do we do that? Well, if we don't have too much on the docket, we take calls in the middle of the show, and to do that, you're going to need Skype. Search for Superman Homepage and send us a message you'd like to chat with us live tonight. Now, a couple of things, and they're kind of important. One, wait for us to call you, because as you see every week, this is tenuous at best. And two, and more importantly, if we do get you on the phone, please mute your speaker if you're watching Superman Homepage live through an external speaker, because we're on a bit of delay and that can get screwed up.
Yes, indeed. And for those who are tuning in live via YouTube tonight, we invite you to participate in the comments there. You can see there's Michael, Ollie, Mark, Justin, and many others tuning in to tonight. So get involved, participate in the comments, and Michael and I will continue to keep an eye on that and react to your questions and comments as the show goes along. And if you'd like your comment or question featured on the screen during the show, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click on the little dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, and we will feature your comment or question on the screen as we go to air. And thank you to our patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you'd like your business or venture promoted here on the show, simply email me at info@supermanhomepage.com, and I'll happily have a discussion with you about being a sponsor of our fine weekly program here. All right. Michael, huzzah, yes. What's your week been like?
Just busy.
Yeah, just non-stop.
Lots of stuff going on, lots of moving parts. And up until about 6 hours ago, we didn't have any internet. So lightning. We had a bad lightning storm last week on Wednesday, and it took out the line in the box in the house. So
it happens.
They sent us a new modem that didn't work, so they had to do a call, but they couldn't do it till this morning. So I'm actually kind of lucky to be here.
Yeah, very cool.
Because I was worried that I was going to have to message you like, yeah, I can't do the show.
Yeah, well, we got lucky then. So things do work in our favor from time to time.
Yes, they do.
All right, well, let's get into tonight's topics. And as we like to do, we start with movie news when there is movie news. And we do have some DC League of Super Pets animated film movie news to discuss. A whole slew of merchandise was released on Amazon. This is only a small portion of what you can check out on our website. We've got things from there are kids books, action figures, play sets, Uno cards, depending on how you like to pronounce it, colouring in books, all those kinds of things, plush toys, and so many more. Even a little bicycle thing is also available. And through this merchandise, which with new images and things coming to light and some of the character designs, we are now able to see who the major villain of the film will be, and it's, interestingly enough, a villainous, hairless guinea pig named Lulu. In the top left corner there.
It's Lulu. That I think with Rain is one of the epic characters of DC's past.
Yes.
I think.
Uh,
I'm sure it all makes sense within the context of the film.
Exactly. And I've seen a few people complaining about the character designs and some of the why does Wonder Woman, the female character, get a pig as her pet? And it's like, well, hang on a second. If you watch the trailer, you'll know that these are not the pets of, other than Krypto, who is Superman's pet dog. None of these animals, as far as I know from the trailer, are actually pets of the superheroes that they are designed after. They actually take on those personas based on the Justice League, because they're all in a pet store. They all get zapped and get superpowers, different superpowers for different characters, and then from there they design their own character traits and costumes based on the Justice League. So Wonder Woman doesn't have a pet pig. This pet pig just designs itself after Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and there was an episode of Justice League Unlimited where she was turned into a pig.
Yes, so there is some history there.
I mean, I think people are looking too deeply into there.
Yes.
I could see some people very good-naturedly are just like, oh, it's a woman and they're associating it with a pig. I don't think that's quite what they're going for.
No.
But I see where that's coming from. But guys, it's a movie called Super Pets. I mean, it's got a chipmunk with a Green Lantern ring. Eventually, it looks like. I mean, that's what the heck, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the Green Lantern, that looks like Jessica Cruz as the Green Lantern there, rather than Hal Jordan or any of the other male Green Lanterns that we've seen in the DC universe. So it's an interesting look at the animated universe of these pets and the superheroes that are part of that universe. And Dwayne Johnson, as we know, voices the role of Krypto, and Kevin Hart, the voice of Ace. And they went on Nickelodeon this past weekend for the Kids' Choice Awards and did a presentation and showed, I say an exclusive clip. I think we've seen a fair bit of it before, but here is the clip from DC League of Super Pets as introduced by Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson.
Let's show them right now, Kev. Here is an exclusive clip just for you guys from our new movie, DC League of Super Pets. Enjoy! All right, team, tell me your powers. Like my powers include heat vision, freeze breath, and the solar paw punch.
What is that? Is that like a juice box flavor or something?
My name's PB, and I can shrink myself down to the size of an... Still working out the kinks. I didn't see anything.
I'm fast. Boom, boom, boom. Here I go. Where the heck am I?
And Ace, you're invulnerable.
You're super strong. I'm sorry, my what is who? Oh, great. I'm the only one who didn't get any superpower.
They're gonna need a longer montage.
So there you have it. That was the clip as shown by Nickelodeon, which shows a little bit of extra footage that we probably haven't seen before, but put together in an interesting little package there.
Yeah, Mind the Gap brings up an interesting point that Lulu's hairless, so does that mean that's Lex Luthor's pet?
Yeah, well, good point. Yeah, that's obviously where they're going for that.
Mind the Gap.
Yeah, well caught, and it definitely might be where they're going with that. But yeah, as I said, check out the new merchandise, supermanhomepage.com. We've collected it all there for you in one handy page where you can click on the links and head to Amazon if you want to pick up some of these tie-in merchandise that will be part of the film's release. And the film itself does come out on July 29th. It was originally May, but it has been pushed back to July 29th. So we look forward to DC League of Super Pets. I'm keen on this film. I cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it does look like a lot of fun. I will say that.
All right, so that's the film side of our discussion. We turn our attention now to the TV side of the Superman world, and we still have a little bit of time to wait. April 26th is the next episode of Superman and Lois, so a couple of weeks before we get a new episode. But We do know now that the schedule for the rest of this season has been laid out. So season 2 with the 10th episode ready to air on April 26th. We have a total of 15 episodes making up this second season. So we know that episode 11, which will be titled Truth and Consequences, will be on May 3rd. Then we get another 3-week gap, unfortunately. Episode 12 will be on May 31st. Episode 13 on June 7th. Episode 14 on June 14th. And then the season 2 finale, episode 15, will be on June 21st.
Yeah, it's COVID.
Yes, these things happen.
That's the reason why it's kind of pushed off till June. And I really wish people would stop complaining about it, because I fully understand that there are people that are invested in watching the show. They don't like delays. There are people out there saying, hey, this is going to ruin interest in the show. I don't think so. We are so entitled these days with how we want it all and we want it now. We don't pay for this. I mean, maybe you buy the episodes on iTunes the next day, and that's fair. But you don't normally have to pay to see it. You can either watch it on network or you can watch it on the CW site the next day.
Exactly.
I don't like the delays any more than anybody else, but I'm going to give these people the benefit of the doubt that they're doing it to keep the cast and crew safe. And if there's an outbreak, they got to stop.
Yep.
Because they don't want to make anybody sick, because this isn't over, despite what people would like you to believe. So, the fact that we get to stretch it out till June is kind of exciting to me, in all honesty, because that means we will have less of a gap between the end of the season and the beginning of the next one, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully that will be the case. So yeah, there are the dates laid out for the rest of season 2, and the next new episode, season 2, episode 10, is titled Bizarros in a Bizarro World. And in this particular episode, we now have the synopsis, which reads, Superman races through the portal after Ali Alston, but when he arrives on the other side, he discovers everything on this parallel Earth is bizarre. Navigating his way through deceivingly familiar faces and landscapes, Superman goes on one wild ride in his fight to stop Ali from emerging. This looks like a fun episode. The photos for this episode have just been released. I'll try to bring in a few while we're sitting here. I'll just grab a sample and load them up for you. But we've got, I'll just try to bring them up to full size. We've got a very emo-looking. Actually, everybody looks emo in this world.
I'm digging Chrissy, who has obviously just come from a performance as Lydia in the Beetlejuice musical. I'm with that. I really am.
And then we've got Superlana, if you like, an interesting, looks like a sea crest. Sea crest.
That's the Talro crest backwards.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. There you go. So that's her there. We've got, again, Lois and...
her Margot Kidder wig.
Yeah, very much so. So that's interesting one there. We've got, obviously, our good friend, the what would you call him? He's been kind
Mitch Anderson?
Yeah, Mitch Anderson, but I was going to say he's been fallen from grace, if you like, yeah. Mitch Anderson from the DOD. And then you've got, that is one heck of a wig, if that's a wig for Jordan Elsas.
Now that Jordan,
Jordan.
That Jordan definitely listens to Morrissey.
Yeah.
And does not care that he's a xenophobe.
For Alex Garfin, that's an interesting... I wonder if they straightened his real hair or if they put a wig on.
Probably easier to put a wig on, though. Probably. I'm wondering why Sam Lane is trying to cosplay as Jonathan.
Very much so. Yes, that's not from this episode. I was just had that photo for another another discussion we're going to have in a second. But yeah, so these are some of the photos that are coming out from Bizarros in a Bizarro World. They've just been released. So yes, we will look forward to that one when it airs on April 26th. And this episode, from all accounts, according to Todd Helbing, is a letter to the fans, a love letter to the fans, he says. And you'll hear that in this next clip I'm about to play from the Paley Center for Media's panel that was hosted at PaleyFest recently on Sunday, April 6th, I think it was. And the whole panel, April 3rd it was, the whole panel, Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch, Alex Garf and Emmanuel Chikri, Indy Navarrete, Sophia Hasmick, Eric Valdez, Dylan Walsh, Wale Parks, Taylor Buck, and showrunner Todd Helbing were all in attendance for this excellent 45-minute Q&A panel, which you can watch in full at our website thanks to a fan called Just Clovis on their Instagram account. But here's a clip from this panel in which Helbing talks about this episode, this upcoming Bizarros in a Bizarro World episode.
Bizarro. Yeah, it's we every season, episode 11 was kind of this last year's. We just want to thank the fans, so it's a sort of love letter to all of them. And so we did this year. We went a little bonkers, I think. We tried to just make it in the theme of bizarre. So we changed up the structure a little bit. A lot of it, yeah. You sort of learn about people in different ways. We like to find ways to tell stories and villains and switch things up as much as we can. And so that is just all of that on steroids.
Without exaggeration, and exactly like you said, that's the episode this season that is the love letter to the fans. It will blow people's minds. The art direction, I do want to always give special thanks to our VFX team, who is killing it.
So there you have it, Elizabeth Tulloch giving a bit of a nod to the head for their visual effects team, who she says are killing it each week, and that they really turn this up a notch as far as the bizarre aspects of it, and it is very much a love letter to the fans. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am too. It was funny a couple of weeks ago when they announced that this was going to be the episode and they played the trailer. My first thought was, this is the Bizarro version of A Brief Reminiscence during cataclysmic events. And it turns out that that's exactly kind of what it was supposed to be. So that was kind of, it was like, oh great, I'm on the right track there. The trailer looks great. I love that everyone's just like dark. I'm just so looking forward to this episode, just to see how crazy they get.
Exactly.
I think if they stick this landing, the rest of the season is going to be gravy.
Yeah, indeed. And there have been a few red carpet videos from the PaleyFest event, and here's one from I think they're called. Let's have a look what they're called. I'm not sure of the actual name of the outfit. I had it on the website, but here is a bit of a video with Tyler and Elizabeth on the red carpet.
But he was pitching it as, I wanted to feel really grounded. It's about a family, like think Friday Night Lights, and I was a huge fan of Friday Night Lights. And so having these stories, can someone bring him a...
You're good.
No, you're sweating.
I'm aware. I know this.
Philip, can you bring him a tissue for his forehead?
See, can we get a...
Watch. Boom. Done.
I know. Okay.
She's very supportive. She's looking out.
So here's the thing. She doesn't know the tricks. I was angling towards you to hide it. It was totally fine.
No, what was happening
it was totally fine
is that
until
the
you
light
blew
was,
it up
hitting
in the interview.
You guys.
I know you can
But
see
Tyler,
it.
you would have been like this.
I know you can see it. I would have. I would have walked away.
This chemistry is why people are obsessed with you guys. Can I just say?
I forget what I was saying. Oh, like having a son who suffers from anxiety, all of those little extra touches, and being able to deal with teenagers who have anxiety disorders and how alienating that is.
Right.
It has been wonderful. Here.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Go for it.
So there you have it. Just a bit of that interview where he's sweating too much, and from Hollywire, that was that video. So yeah, love the chemistry between them. The poor host, the compere there, the lady trying to do the interview is like, can we get back on track here? I've only got limited time for my interview.
I'm just curious why Bitsy was dressed as Ursa from Superman 2. It's a bold choice. Most people don't cosplay to these types of events, but no, it's just everybody had really like I think we talked about this a little bit last week. Everybody had like really kind of I'm just a poor country boy, but everyone had like these really kind of bizarre outfits, but not bizarre in the way of bizarro. Just not something I would ever think, but I guess that's kind of the point of doing what they were doing. So, and the fact that it was the entire cast is pretty exciting too.
Yeah, I think only Jordan Elsas was missing, but the other twin. But yeah, and they mentioned in these red carpet interviews that it's been like 2 years since they've been able to do anything like this. So they haven't been able to get out there and participate in kind of conventions and things because of COVID. So I guess they went all out in their outfits, and it was like almost like going out to the Oscars and just really glamming up and dolling themselves up. So yeah, they really got into being other than in their Smallville get-up.
Yeah.
Which sometimes can be a little bit drab for a country folk.
I'm sure.
So yeah, that you can check out that full interview as well on our website. And the reason I brought up this photo a little bit earlier of Tyler Hoechlin was because he'll be in France at the Paris Fan Festival in early May 7th and May 8th. The weekend there, fans will be able to meet him at the Paris Fan Festival. They'll be able to grab a photograph or an autograph. And there's also a superhero exhibition of costumes and props from different movies and TV shows at Paris Fan Festival. So if you're interested, parisfanfestival.com if you happen to be in Paris, France and want to get along to that. So it looks like they're out also in the UK at some point, I think early next month. So they're doing a bit of a Europe thing.
Yeah, it's going all over the place.
Yeah.
Hoping he's coming back to DragonCon this year.
So yeah, a lot of convention news. We're trying to keep you abreast of all the different Superman celebrities attending these conventions over the next couple of months. So stay tuned to supermanhomepage.com for all your Superman celebrity convention appearances. All right, also on the TV side of things, Young Justice, they've released a new poster image for the 5th arc of Young Justice Phantoms. This new poster image shows us new gods and old friends. What could go wrong? New Young Justice will return on April 14th, only on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's just in time to be there for the Batman hitting HBO Max.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that's getting an early release date.
Yep. Yeah, like next week.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
I was kind of surprised. I guess they're like, we made our money, we're good.
Yeah.
Let's get the streaming going.
It went really well at the box office, which is surprising considering we're still, hesitant world of pandemic, disinterest in going to movie theaters, but it did really well.
Spider-Man No Way Home made like $1 billion, so I think for certain characters, people are willing to chance
it. Yeah, fair enough. And speaking of Young Justice, the HBO Max YouTube channel released this clip from the earlier this season of Young Justice Phantoms, in which Superman mourns the passing of Superboy.
Supper's ready!
Thanks, Ma. Pa and I just want to get the tractor up on blocks. Then we'll be right
Oh, no. You two will get to talking, and we'll be waiting on you for an hour. Put that thing down and come wash up.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotta learn that trick, Martha.
I've got a feeling you have tricks of your own, Lois. How does fried chicken and cornbread sound, Johnny?
Great! Will Uncle Connor be here?
Johnny, we we talked about this.
So yeah, there's a clip from Young Justice Phantoms in which they're dealing with the grief over the death of Connor Kent. I didn't realize that they had a young son, Jonathan.
Yeah, well, two things about that. One, did they just take the character models from the Death of Superman movie for Lois? Because that really
Very
looked
similar.
like the Lois from the Death and Return of Superman. I love how normalized them having a kid is now.
Big time. They would just accept
back
it.
Back in 2016, this was a big deal, man. It was just going to be like this one-off miniseries, and it wasn't going to affect anything. And then it's the real thing, and now there's a TV show, and now he has his own series. And now on the other adapted stuff, Lois and Clark are married, and they got a kid. So it's just like this whole thing that used to be like they shouldn't be married and it doesn't work. It's just like, nope, everyone's just completely on board with it right now.
Yeah, exactly. And good to see Jonathan and Martha there as well.
I was really like, I haven't been watching Young Justice, but wow, if that's what they're doing, I kind of want to check out at least that episode to see the Kents.
Yeah, indeed, and yeah, Crypto there howling at the loss of Paul
broke
Connor.
my heart.
So yeah, and Nolan North, as Mind the Gap reminds us, voicing both Superman and Connor Kent, Superboy, in this series. Yes, this episode first aired on October 21st. And before we get to the break, still on the news of Young Justice, but on the comic book side of things, DC announced that they will be doing a 6-issue mini-series titled Young Justice Targets, which will be written by showrunner Greg Weisman with art by storyboard artist Christopher Jones. It will be first available on DC Universe Infinite on June 14th, and then come to comic books on July 26th, which is interesting. That's a flip. They usually have the print books out first, and then they go to DC Universe Infinite. But I guess they're trying to entice people to subscribe to this new series, to this new streaming digital service for comic books. So in Young Justice Targets, Queen Perdita has been kidnapped. Mysterious armored assailants have snatched the Vlatavan Royal out from beneath Bow Hunter security, leaving Green Arrow and Black Canary poisoned and comatose in the process. Now a rallying cry echoes around the globe and across super teams to band together and rescue Perdita. Continuing the story of Young Justice Phantoms is the 6-issue digital first Young Justice Targets, and we have a variant cover there and a couple of images from the interior art of this book as well, which were released as part of this press release. So yes, the first issue of Young Justice Targets will be released, as I said, the 26th of July on in comic book shops, but will be released on June 14th with DC Universe Infinite subscriptions.
Yep. Looks cool.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. All right, we're going to, right on the halfway mark of tonight's hour, so we're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and then we're going to come back with the This Week in History, but before that, fan favourite segment of our show. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back with some excellent stuff right after this.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bulmer, the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
He's faster than a speeding bullet. He's more powerful than a locomotive. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Who is he? He's Superman!
Now you can see scenes from Superman the movie on a Viewmaster viewer. Just put in a reel and click. You can see Superman, the legendary Man of Steel, in action. You can invite the whole gang over to see him. Viewmaster viewer and Superman the movie packets sold separately in most photo or toy departments.
And we're back on Superman Homepage Live, where we're going to get into the fan favourite segment of our show. All right, Michael, what was our fan favourite question from last week?
What is your favorite Superman jigsaw puzzle?
And first up, we had, who did we have?
We have Jack Roche. He says, this is a cool Superman puzzle. I've seen them at Target.
Just bringing it up now. Here it is. Oh, yes, very nice.
Yeah, I actually bought that. I found it at Walmart. It's a... do you know who Thomas Kincaid is?
Yes. An artist who's done quite a few different things.
So this is the Thomas Kincaid-esque Superman versus Doomsday.
Yeah, there's a couple of different in this series, isn't there? A couple of different artworks, if you like. I don't know if they've all been turned into jigsaw puzzles, but he's done a number of different artworks with the DC superheroes.
So, because nothing says to me down-home Americana than a destructive rage beast and Superman fighting in a new 52 outfit. But no, I actually picked this up too.
So you got Lex there on the dome of the Daily Planet.
Get him!
Yeah, I don't know why Doomsday's fists are on fire, but that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating. You got fighter jets coming in from the back. I mean,
sunset.
This is pretty epic.
Yes, big time. So thank you, JP, for sending that one. Jack sending that one in for us. All right, next up we have Justin Suarez, who says, who was actually the instigator of this question. He says, I got this jigsaw puzzle last Christmas, and being in isolation on a rainy day, I thought that I would complete it. Took me a staggered 3 days. I had fun and love how the colours pop out. Very cool.
So
the villain's there. I don't know if he's purposely done that or that's part of the puzzle.
You got the Phantom Zone villains. This is I bought this too. It's shocking. I have all these puzzles. I actually bought it at Universal Studios. They had a gift shop that was like full of DC stuff, which was really just kind of weird. There was a giant Henry Cavill Superman statue, and me and my buddy Andy, who is a co-host with me on one of my shows, just could not wrap our heads around the fact that you have Nightwing and Robin in this shot, and you can't say that's Jason Todd because that's Dick Grayson's hairstyle, and if you want peak nerd nitpickery, it is this image right here.
Yeah, and that is obviously artwork by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Well, I keep mixing up his name.
It's a mix though.
Is it? Oh yeah.
That Aquaman is Jerry Ordway, because Jerry Ordway did a bunch of promo art for DC. So this is kind of a weird hodgepodge of different art style, of different artists doing because I think Green Lantern's also an Ordway. So it's just, I just love,
fascinating.
This makes me just happy looking at it, because that's like the DC of my youth.
Yeah, Yeah, indeed.
So
thank you, Justin, for sending that in.
Yeah, Patrick O'Neill says, my favorite Superman puzzle is the Metropolis Superman 4D puzzle. It was a lot of fun to build a map of Metropolis with actual buildings.
Wow, that is an impressive 4D mini Metropolis puzzle. That's impressive.
That is. Do you have a favorite puzzle?
I've got a few. I've never actually sat down to put one together. I've never opened the boxes to actually do them, but there's been I love the 4D things. They're really cool. There was a New 52 like Superman bust 4D puzzle that was really cool looking, even though I wasn't never a big fan of the costume that they created for it with the collars and that. But yeah, there've been a few. There's an Action Comics #1 cover puzzle, jigsaw puzzle, just a 2D one. That's really cool. That's probably one of my favorites. Yourself?
Yeah, I have a bunch. Rachel years ago, like 10 years ago now that I think about it, went on eBay for Christmas one year and just bought a bunch of Superman puzzles, some of which were newer, because one of them was like a Jim Lee, like Superman standing against the buildings, which was one of the cover to like his first issue. There was like one, there was a couple JLA ones with Superman in it. She bought me some vintage ones from like the 70s that are Neil Adams art.
Cool.
Like Superman fighting a shark.
Yeah.
But the one she found me was one that just I almost burst into tears when I opened it. When I was a kid, when I was like a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old, I put together like 1,000-piece puzzles. My parents were fascinated by this, that I would just sit there and just do it because I really enjoyed doing it. And this wasn't 1,000-piece, but one of the ones they got me was it was a Superman the movie one of Christopher Reeve standing in front of a flag. And I remember putting that thing together, and she found it. It's complete.
Wow.
And once we get this house cleaned up a little more, we're going to start putting puzzles together again, because that's literally something we used to do all the time.
Now, here's a question for you. Once you've completed the puzzle, do you like then keep it complete? Are you one of those people that maybe, laminates it or what have you, and then, frames it and puts it up, or do you go, yep, done, throw it all back in the box and put it away?
Yeah, we leave it out for like a week or two,
just
to bask in the glory of finishing it, and then we just take it apart and put it in. One of the interesting thing, though, about certain puzzle manufacturers here in the United States, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but we're talking about puzzles. Apparently, certain manufacturers, despite the fact that the images were different, use the exact same die cuts to make the puzzles.
Right.
So if you can find them, you can like put the weirdest puzzles together, and the pieces fit.
Yeah.
Because even though the image doesn't make any sense, but no, I when Rachel and I first met, I had bought from the Warner Brothers store, rest in peace, this beautiful Jerry Ordway shot of, it was like DC Comics in 1997, basically, and it was one of the first things we did as like a couple. Was she came over once, and she just started putting pieces in, and we just started working on it. We put the thing together. So, but puzzles, I love puzzles. I just love jigsaw puzzles. We have way too many right now, but I've got a lot of Superman related ones. Excellent.
And they're a fun bit of activity that you can do with multiple people. Everyone can be looking for the pieces and trying to fit them in. And I know my nieces still love doing them, and always got a puzzle going somewhere at my mum's house. So they're a lot of fun, and thank you, Justin, for asking that question and posing it for us. But we have a new fan favorite question for this week, and it is, which is your favorite live action Superman costume? So not actor, I'm not talking about the actor, but the costume itself. Which is your favorite live action Superman costume? Let us know. Send us an email, info@supermanhomepage.com, and we will read out the responses to this fan favorite question when we return to this segment next week.
Bonus points for anybody that picks Dean Cain's second costume. with the giant shoulder cape thingy.
Very good. And don't forget, right now, give us a thumbs up or a like there right on YouTube while you're watching this. Always helps, so it doesn't take much. So thank you to those who've already done that. But if you can do that for us, that would be awesome. All right, let's move into This Week in History.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Rightio, away you go, Michael.
Oh, it's a short one this year, this week, because it goes. Our first is in 1972. There is nothing until then. Justice League of America number 99, which has Superman right there on the cover, which is the Seeds of Destruction, and it had a couple backups of Sandman and the Atom, which, like I think I said a couple weeks ago or last week, this is something DC did during this year. They would put reprints in the back of some of their books. We also have Superman number 253 with the kid who saved Superman. Poor Billy. There is a story called Just Imagine Another Ice Age, and a Superman story called Baby on the Doorstep. So that is a classic Superman reprint. That's an interesting Nick Cardy cover, too. Cat's kind of freaking me out. Jumping ahead to 1982, we have Superman number 373, which not only has an Private Life of Clark Kent backup, which was an eye and ear on the world. It's Lana Lang's Farewell to Earth, and there is Vartox. If anybody knows the background of Vartox, he's basically like Sean Connery from a movie called Zardoz. And he was in love with Lana, and his entire story is nothing but tragedy. But you got to really
as is his costume.
yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. But that's a really cool Rich Buckler cover. Jumping ahead to 1992, we got Justice League America number 63, which is during the Dan Jurgens run. This is right around the time that Guy Gardner gets the Yellow Ring. Which he has during the Doomsday storyline. I rather like this run. It had some really cool villains. This is called Almerac or Bust, and this was part of a
Sapphire?
Starbreaker.
Oh. Okay.
Is the villain. He's the cosmic vampire. So it's kind of a classic JLA villain that Jurgens brought back with this newer version of the League. Also that same week, we got Superman the Man of Steel number 12, which is a John Bogdanove cover inked by Dennis Jenke. This is Panic in the Streets. This is one of the creatures, I believe, from the Underworlders coming up. And this would actually get a sequel of sorts in 2011, because that whale thingy came back in DC Retroactive Superman the 90s, number 1. Which they need to do some more of those retroactive. Jumping ahead to 2002, you have Adventures of Superman number 603. This is setting up for a Earth 3 Ultraman and Superwoman storyline. God, I remember hating the artwork. The artwork inside is done by an artist named Carlos Meglia, and interesting art, just not what I want from a Superman story.
I can see that. Yep.
That was a rough throw to hoe on that one. Also, that same week, by the way, Green Lantern number 149 came out with Superman on the cover. This was the Ion storyline where Kyle Rayner just became more and more and more powerful.
That is a massive S.
That is, yeah. That's Brandon Badu.
It's going down to his belly button.
Yeah, that's a okay, Alex Ross, I can do a bigger S than you can type of image. Jumping ahead to 2012, we have Superboy number 12, him fighting grunge.
Number 8 or number 12?
Number 8, sorry. Yes. I don't know why I got 12 in my head. It's 2012. That's probably why I'm there. This is called Training Day. Yeah, this is part of that whole culling storyline. Where basically it answered the question: what if Superboy was actually a '90s character, even more '90s than he was? Because they team him up with it's like the Legion is involved in this, and Gen 13, and it's just like, wow. So one of these things just does not fit with the other. Still, no actual memory about what happened in the book, but I just remember the culling. The culling was a terrible story. It really was. Good Lord,
I can't remember it.
Yeah, mercifully, I really don't.
Better
either.
off.
I just remember it being bad. Going to the real world, which is some fun stuff this time out. We have April 10th is. I always mispronounce this.
Kyler?
It's not Kyler. That's right. Kyler Lee Potts, as I found out recently, was born in 1982. She was, of course, Alex Danvers on Supergirl and on The Flash most recently. Jumping ahead to April 14th, it's a twofer. You got John Shea, born in 1949, and Mark who was Lex Luthor on the first on Lois and Clark, and Mark Pillow, who was Nuclear Man. That's a really great costume. It would look good in a comic. He was born in 1959. Just fascinated that both of those men were born on the same day. One's a really good villain. One is a villain. And I'll leave it at that. And then jumping ahead to April 16th, Joan Alexander, who was the once and future voice of Lois Lane on the Superman radio series. She wasn't the first, but she eventually got the job, then was fired, and then disguised herself to audition again, and then got the role again and played it mostly towards the end.
Yes.
And she was also Lois in the Filmation animated series from 1966.
Yeah, wasn't she also in the Fleischer? Lois from the Fleischer cartoons?
Yes, she was the Lois on the Fleischer. So, but yeah, it's just like they don't like her, so she auditions under like a pseudonym, and suddenly they like her again. So
it's a good way of getting around it. Well done. So
she was born in 1915.
Wow, there you go. So thank you. That was This Week in History. Some interesting comic books to look back on, and some birthdays this week for Superman celebrities. All right, well, let's push on to the comic book side of the world of Superman. And DC also revealed a interesting finale to the Earth Prime comic book series. Now, if you're unaware, the Earth Prime comic book series are comic books based on the CW's television shows. So we've had the Batwoman, the first issue. Michael will be reviewing the second issue, which is the Superman and Lois issue of the series. That is Earth Prime number 2, Superman and Lois, will be on sale April 19th. And then you've got Legends of Tomorrow is issue number 3, Stargirl is issue 4, and The Flash is issue 5. And then the final issue of the series, number 6, is titled Heroes Twilight, and this is the cover that you're looking at right now, and there's some interior pages as well. This is obviously the final issue of this 6-issue miniseries with Magog on the cover.
Yeah, it's an interesting that they're revealing it at this stage. Really, I was kind of surprised that they decided to just drop it, because it's kind of a secret. It's all 90s. He's in shadow, and I was personally pushing for Scorn.
Okay.
So
because he saw the horns.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, it's not, and I was just really disappointed. It was really funny because we get the preview books, so I read it so that I could get a jump on doing my review. And I saw that, and it was just like, ooh, I wonder who that shadowy figure is. And literally, like 5 minutes later on Twitter, I'm like, oh, it's Magog. Okay. Well, that's what we're doing then. So.
Yeah. So across time and universes, Magog has been amassing forces to finally free humanity from their dependency on so-called heroes. In his eyes, all they do is bring about pain and destruction everywhere they go, solving no problems and bringing no peace to the world. Magog and his allies plan to change everything and help society bring the superhero community to its knees, helping society reach its true potential once and for all. So looking forward to reading the second issue. You'll let me know, Michael, if I need to read all of the tie-ins, or if it's a standalone thing and I can just read the second one and then maybe jump to the sixth, or...
I've just read the second one, and it's pretty much self-contained except for the very last that starts leading into this. It's like, they've done Crisis on Earth X, and they've done Invasion. This sounds like a really weird version of Legends.
Right, yes.
And I'm kind of wondering if this is something they were gonna do in the shows, and then COVID just made it impossible to do, and they're like, yeah, we'll do it as a comic.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, considering let's see, who are the writers of these particular books? Anyone involved with the show itself?
Well, the Superman and Lois ones, written by Jay Jameson, Andrew Wong, and Alan Mallinger. So it's the writers of the shows writing the books.
So yeah, there could be something in that.
And I'm just telling y'all right now, I'm not telling you anything about it because there's an embargo, but I can say that it's really, really good.
Cool. Looking forward to that.
I don't think that breaks the embargo.
I don't think it does. All right. Well, as far as comic books are concerned, this is what we can look forward to this week for Superman fans reading on a weekly basis. We have just the 10th issue of Superman, Son of Kal-El, which is available in 2 different variant covers, and there they are right now. This one makes up part of the background of our website at the moment. And also out this week is the trade paperback of Dark Knight's Death Metal, which
the deluxe edition.
Yeah. So that is out this week as well. So that's for the comic book side of things. And there was a bit of a spoiler out from a particular website about Superman, Son of Kal-El number 10, which we won't go into because we'd like you to read them for yourself. But our review of this particular issue will be up tomorrow, Tuesday, at around 8:30, just after 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're interested, you'll be able to read Adam DeChannel's review of Superman, Son of Kal-El number 10 on the day it is released, which is tomorrow, April 12th. So looking forward to that. All right, still on the comic book side of things, Dark Crisis is the next big DC event that is about to hit our bookshelves, our comic book shelves, and there is a standalone, well, not about standalone, but a tie-in Superman special titled Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League Superman number 1, and the variant cover for this is the background that is behind me at the moment on the show tonight. Following the tragic events in Justice League number 75, which, as we've mentioned before, is the Death of the Justice League issue and the final issue of that ongoing title, the tribute to the Man of Steel in Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League Superman number 1. We see Superman is maybe... where we go? When Pariah and his forces of the Great Darkness laid waste to the most powerful superheroes of all time, all hope was lost. With the Man of Steel suffering the same fate as that of his comrades, join us for a look at a world of dreams he would never have thought possible while alive. Where there's life, there's hope, and with that hope comes a deeper unraveling of the tapestry of DC Universe's biggest event of 2022. So I'm not sure why Robin is...
It's a cute cover.
Yeah, you got Grayson teaming up with Superman on the covers here. I'm not sure how much of a huge part of the story he is, but I'm guessing he's fairly involved.
I like the old school Earth 2 Superman-esque. The one before the one Perez did. That's kind of cool.
So yes, this will be released on the 12th of July. So July 12th. It's written by, let's see, who is it written by? So we've got Tom King and Chris Burnham teaming up for the first time ever for a tribute to the Man of Steel. So yes, looking forward to that. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily big Tom King fans, but I've seen some really good tweets from him recently about Superman and the how he's the beacon of hope, and how he's so easy to write. He doesn't get why people think that Superman is such a hard character to write. So I'm actually been impressed with some of the things Tom King's been saying on social media.
Because he's not hard to write.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's Dark Crisis. Looking forward to that when it is released in July. John Bogdanov, you mentioned him earlier from one of his artwork covers in This Week in History. We mentioned recently that his original artwork has been auctioned off at Heritage Auctions, selling some of the Death of Superman era artwork by himself and Dennis Jenke. And this particular cover that you're looking at right here sold for $204,000.
Yeah, I was $203,000 short of that. God, I would like to have a piece of that art. I'm serious. I just hate that I'm so poor.
Well, I don't think there'd be many people who would have been able to, unless they're serious collectors and have a bit of cash lying around. Because the cheapest item in the 12 items that were on offer went for $4,800, which is closer to where you were headed, but still about $3,800 above what you were looking at.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't have I definitely do not have $4,000 to
splash
to splash around right now. But no, it's just to have a piece of that history, the story that means that much to me. The only artwork I would want more than that is like artwork from Exile. But yeah, I think I'm so glad that his artwork went for so much. John's a great guy. We've talked to him on this show. Jeff and I had him on From Crisis to Crisis, and probably one of the nicest. I've really not met an artist or writer from that era that's a jerk.
Yeah, no, they're all really nice guys. So well done to those people who were involved in that auction and now own a piece of comic book history. So and good luck to John Bogdanov for the sale of those items. All right, well, we've pretty much reached the end of tonight's show. I did want to mention that the episode of Mastermind that I was on in Australia here, SBS, the channel, here is the image for that particular... Oops, turn off Bogdanov's artwork. These are the other contestants, myself and the host there on the left. I did pretty well. Didn't do too poorly. Answered the majority of the Superman questions and didn't embarrass myself, which was the main goal. I wanted, if you're going to go on and say you're an expert in a particular topic, you don't want to embarrass yourself. So I did really well on the Superman movie and Superman 2 trivia questions. Not so well in the general knowledge area of the show, but I wasn't too worried about that. I didn't win. Came third out of 4, which is not too bad. Didn't disgrace myself. But like I said, I was pretty happy with my attempt at all the Superman the movie and Superman 2 trivia questions, and some of them are actually part of our Superman homepage trivia quiz this week. A couple of the ones I got wrong this month, I should say. So the one I did get wrong was what was the name of the news TV program that was covering the Idaho invasion of Zod and Ursa and Non. I had no idea what the name of that program was.
Yeah, you told me about that, and I'm like, man, I would have flubbed that too. That's the news.
Obscure. Yeah. Oh, in Idaho news. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to check it out, sbs.com.au. It's called Mastermind. But that is our show for this week. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live. Appreciate you joining us for this past hour. And thank you to Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray, who are our patrons. And thank you to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And thank you to everyone who tuned in. We'll be back next week, Monday, April 11th, for another edition of Superman Homepage Live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. On behalf of myself and Michael Bailey, thanks for watching supermanhomepage.com. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. See you later.